Hello, NAILBA 40. I'm Tiffany Markarian with Advantus Marketing, and as always, it's a pleasure to be with you during the conference. Today, we'll be discussing the 9 big mistakes made with digital marketing. The goal here is to help you avoid them, recognize them, and most importantly, turn your digital marketing, if you're engaging in such activities, into optimum results. We have a half an hour and a lot of ground to cover, so let's get started. When we talk about the 9 big mistakes with digital marketing, let's clarify that with digital marketing, we're talking about marketing that can happen with a click. So this could be your social media, it could be your email marketing campaigns, blogging if you're engaging in activities, video-based marketing, or your website, anything that's allowing you to reach a targeted audience of advisors or clients. One thing that's important to note with digital marketing is that the formula for success is really equal parts the content that you're putting out there, the analytics so that you get picked up and that you can assess if your digital marketing efforts are working, and then of course the psychology. The people on the other end that you're hoping to reach, they are in fact people. They're not just candidates, they're not just leads, they're not just advisors or clients, they're people. And so we have to make it in such a way that people want to engage. The number one big mistake that I see comes down to analytics and search engine optimization, or SEO. And analytics could be something as simple as Google Analytics. The mistake that I see here is not paying attention to them or not recognizing how important that they are. We could do an entire session on this, but in reality, the biggest thing that I would ask you to do is talk to your web designer. Talk to your campaign managers or your agencies that you're working with and help them share with you what analytics they can provide, what SEO specialists they might recommend to you. Because in your website, in your blogging activities, any type of platform, tracking codes are important, keywords are important, click rates, bounce rates are all important, and algorithms are important. Google is constantly changing their algorithms. You want to be on the high end of search results, and that comes down to making sure that all of your platforms are optimized. So understanding analytics can help you identify where people are spending time on your website. Are your campaigns actually working? Are your blog efforts actually being found? And what could we do to possibly ensure better results? So I would welcome you to get some outside assistance from qualified individuals. The second big mistake that we see is messaging. And the messaging, whether that be on your website, your campaigns, blogging, email marketing, is are you coming off as convincing people to try to engage or work with you? Convincing means putting it all out there, lengthy content, all about your process, your platforms. I like to call that the P's. And this is what I notice with a lot of traditional BGA marketing. It's messaging that's focusing on products, processes, production, payouts, performance, platforms, your people. These are all important. You'll certainly cover them if an advisor or client decides to engage, but putting that all out there is really convincing people to work with you. And it's about you. Instead, we want to go from convincing to creating curiosity. And when we have the attention span for most people online of about 8 to 9 seconds, we really have to choose our words judiciously and focus on creating curiosity, not just lengthy content or words trying to convince people. One of the things that we can do is in our messaging, replace the words we, our, I, and really focus on what you, what your team, what you can gain. Your process, your platform can be approved, and get away from your own firm so that it piques and engages curiosity. The other thing is speaking in outcomes. If it's not relevant, people will bounce off the page and they won't engage. So the outcomes have to be the benefits that people could accomplish or gain in working with you. And you need to keep these subject lines to 4 to 6 words maximum as a way to stand out, but also speaking in outcomes. For example, if you were focusing on advisors, completing your planning through insurance, that is an engaging headline, 3 words. Enhancing your client experience, that's what every advisor is looking to do. Honoring your fiduciary role. Spending more time with clients. If there was a campaign email about spending more time with clients, that's going to pique curiosity. protecting your client's emotional security. Notice in here, we're not using products or the word insurance, but we're focusing on outcomes of what most advisors are trying to do. Discussing insurance without trepidation is another. And then finally, you could even have other things that are tied to their marketing outcomes, such as becoming invaluable to COIs. All of these are within 4 to 6 words, and they are focused on an outcome. Mistake number 3 is niche market faux pas. Now, as a BGA, you're probably looking to cast a wide variety of advisors, agents, producers, brokers that you'd want to work with. But each of those types of advisors are going to have a different world and different vernacular. The RIAs are going to be focused more on advice. They're not going to be focused as much on commissions. If they're a fee only, they can't accept commissions. If you're someone who's in the benefit space, they may be looking to increase their revenues through other lines like individual life and DI, or they may be looking to add an elevated service experience for clients by adding more solutions. Someone in property and casualty might be looking to create more wins outside of their traditional compensation, outside of their traditional workman's comp, etc. So one thing that we can do in our digital marketing to be safe is replace the words customers with clients. Producer, broker, agent, rep, perhaps referring them all as advisors or financial professionals. Don't mention their agency, talk about their firm. And try to get away from sales ideas and instead call them planning concepts, case studies, product compensation. Talk to them about their business, because if we start focusing on revenues, commissions, we might be in the wrong lane with that advisor, and we don't want them to bounce without realizing our value. Mistake number 4 is pushing content. Now you might say, well, that's what digital marketing is all about. We want to get our content out there. It's very easily to put content out there, but it's not as easy to be, quote, picked up. This is a positioning opportunity. I speak to many BGAs who will say, we've got a whole library of videos and case studies and blogs and economic briefings, but we don't seem to get a lot of engagement. Well, if we're just pumping out content and hoping people see it or share it, hope is not a plan. If we've got good content, then could that content be shared on industry blogs for the type of advisor? Could it be featured in industry trade publications? Is there a way to have it picked up so that you become the author and it's seen by a wider group of people? One thing that you can do is use provocative questions. That might entice an industry trade publication or perhaps an industry blog or podcast to use your content as a way to feature to their audience, and they're pushing it out for you. You're not hoping it will get picked up. You can be very strategic in figuring out for each type of advisor we want to work with, where are they going for information? Rather than wait for people to follow you, follow where the clients are going. And using questions such as, are you invaluable to COIs? How do you spend more time with clients? How do you enhance your client experience? Those are all provocative content. And if you can share actionable steps, like today, we're sharing 9 mistakes with digital marketing. Well, maybe there's 4 techniques to estate planning. Maybe there's 3 ways to protect your client's economic and emotional security. Adults love steps, and it's a great way for people to focus on content that can give them takeaways. Number 5's mistake is content length, just being too long and trying to put too much out there. If you're trying to do a blog post or a video and you're trying to get every angle of the content in that one place, it's going to become too long. Break it up into segments, and now you've got multiple posts or multiple emails. People only have about 8 to 9 seconds of attention span. So you want to make sure that the content that you put out there is easy to consume. I like to call that snackable content. It's something that they can look at it, scan it, get the takeaways very quickly. It creates more curiosity. If they open something up and there's 800, 900 words in one email, they're probably not going to read the whole thing and just bounce or move on. Surprisingly, the ideal length for emails or campaign messages is 50 to 125 words. That is including your hello, Tiffany, your warm regards, Tiffany, at the end. We have to make sure that we get the content to focus on those outcomes, and it can be done, and I'll show you some examples. It means that we have to ditch the extraneous. I hope you're doing well, staying safe during this pandemic. That is taking up valuable time. We have to get right to the outcomes. Like I mentioned earlier, a subject line of 4 to 6 words or less is going to be golden, and it creates that curiosity. Proof and then proofread again. That's another mistake we have to be careful of with our content. If we make a mistake and we don't have multiple people look at it before it goes out, no matter how long your content is, it's not going to be a good look. And in our content, we certainly want to focus on CTAs, or what we call calls to action. That is enticing the advisor to take the next step, whether it is to look at one of your videos or check out one of these pages, or simply download something. We have to be careful with how we do that formatting. A lot of times a button is very easy as opposed to a link, but there's some other techniques that we'll cover in just a moment. Look at this email for a moment. Now, this is an opportunity that a firm decided to do. This is an actual email where someone wanted to cultivate their existing base of advisors. The problem here is that there's far too many calls to action. They're trying to make this a quarterly update email, but requiring the advisor to do too many things. Here we are, we're sharing what's happening quarterly. Business is good from our point. We hope things are well. Okay, it's a lot of extraneous. Your case status has been emailed to you. Go to our portal, click here if you need advice, if you need help, support. Our quarterly insurance update is available. Click here. We were recently featured on a podcast. You can view it here. We're hoping to boost our social media presence. Would you like and share our posts? Okay, that sounds a little off-putting. We're conducting an advisor satisfaction survey. Complete this brief survey. There's just too many calls to action here, and the links are just getting buried. You're going to be better off, if you've got a podcast, make that the headline. If you've got a video, make that its own email, because if we require too many opportunities, we just may not get an end result from that advisor. Great thing about digital marketing is it allows us to do so much, but it's like a kid in the candy store. If we try to do too much, we have to remember there's a person on the other end, and it can come off as passive aggressive if we don't do it the right way. One of the things that we can do in our content is use power words. Power words are things like an invitation for you, introducing, or just making the subject you, your business, your team, your clients, things that the advisor could gain. Focus on you as opposed to your firm, I, we, our. Avoiding friction words is a very good strategy. Friction words are things that the advisor might not want to do. It's a task. Apply here, submit here, download here. We want to replace that with more powerful words, such as get more, learn now, ready to talk. We also want to avoid spam words like free, because that could allow one of your messages, even if it's a free session, to go into someone's spam folder. A/B testing is also very important. You might have great content. Maybe it fits the 50 to 125 words, but A/B testing is trying out the same campaign with a different subject line or a different title or a different time of day or a different platform. It just allows you to see what is the best way to gain results. So you might have an excellent message that didn't quite get the traction the first time, but if you change the subject line or if you change the time of day that it goes out, you may catch advisors in a different mode or at a different time, and that's what A/B testing is meant to do. So here's some examples, as promised, of email marketing that falls within that 50 to 125 word sweet spot. This one happens to be if you're introducing yourself in your firm. Hi, Janet, this is Tiffany Markarian. I work for ABC Insurance. We work with advisors like you who are looking to complete their fiduciary planning in a non-conflicted manner. We help them enhance their client experience. Now, why am I putting these in bold? I'm not going to do that in the email, but what I'm doing is making sure I'm getting outcomes featured, outcomes that are about them. And those outcomes are attained through your services. Most BGAs will flip it. We work with advisors with life, disability, long-term care insurance, asset protection. That's about you. We want to lead with outcomes that are about the advisor. Was hoping to schedule a brief call or meeting. I'd love to connect and work with you, or love to connect and network with you. That's safe. If they're maybe not looking for risk management services, then another safe thing is networking together. And here's a great way to close. I look forward to learning more about your story and the things you've learned along the way. That's a better way than saying, I'd love the opportunity to meet. It's a way to engage them and pique their curiosity. And that's 109 words. Here's one. Maybe you were introduced through a mutual COI. Hi, Sharon, a pleasure to meet you via email. Many thanks to David for the mutual introduction. I look forward to a discovery conversation where I can share the outcomes ABC Insurance focuses on with advisors like you to articulate their value, complete their planning, enhance their experience. Let me know the best times and dates. I look forward to discovering more about you and how we can help protect your clients' economic and their emotional security. Warmest regards. That's 103 words. And if you happen to engage with someone, maybe they came in through a lead program, maybe they were someone that's been in your pipeline and you want to engage them further in 107 words. Hi, Sharon, as promised. Now, this is a big phrase right here. It's going to be distinct from other emails follow-ups. As promised, which says we do what we say we'll do. Please find an overview of ABC Insurance, which outlines how we work with advisors like you to enhance their experience. I've attached some custom information based on the thoughtful vision you have for your business. We're focusing on those power words. We share the same purpose in helping you articulate your value, expanding your insurance offerings, and ways to incorporate policy reviews. And here's another power phrase, we are here for you. These are just different ways of saying things to pique curiosity. Remember, advisors, clients, they're bombarded with ubiquitous information. They're bombarded with email marketing. We've got to get it personal, we've got to get it tight, and less focus on process, products, etc. It's all about, again, going from convincing to creating curiosity. All right, mistake number 6 is mobile optimization. What I mean by that is you may have something that looks great on a desktop or looks great on a tablet, but when you get to your iPhone, it's going to look much more lengthy because you're reading something vertically and it may not come off as well. So we almost have to skinny it down even further since most people are tied to their phones. Here's an example. This email was way too lengthy to start. It was formatted awfully and it shows up very compact and it shows up as just way too much text and overwhelming when you look at it on a mobile device. And further, if your calls to action are just links and not buttons, it's very hard. You're burying it. They'll probably just bounce off. So we've got to skinny this down because even a shorter email can look like this in a vertical view and people just look away. Another thing with mobile is too many visuals. Visuals might look great on your site, but it may look different on different devices. And unfortunately, all these great visuals that might entice someone to go to your insurance summit. And by the way, take the word free out because it might go to spam. But unfortunately, we're losing all the impact of the great visuals that we had because they're just not showing up. What's the headline here? Test things before they go out and test them on multiple devices. All right, number 7 is mistakes with social media. Specifically with this one, I'm going to focus on LinkedIn as an example. Baiting and switching. Your goal is to connect with as many people, and hopefully in that connection, it might spur a relationship. But if once someone has accepted our invitation to connect and we bait and switch, here's an example of one that came to me recently. I love working with companies in and around Boston, which is where I happen to live. I know a lot of local professionals are worried about their Social Security, and when they retire, we set them up with annuities. They never have to outlive their income. Could we chat for 15 minutes? That literally came out within 24 hours that I accepted this person's invite. And all of a sudden, bam, now they're coming off as passive aggressive. They're focusing on product. They're focusing on a sales angle and not fostering the relationship. Your best bet when you connect with someone is to start liking and engaging their content. Thank them for connecting, looking forward to sharing content, looking forward to getting to know more about them. through what they post on social media. It's a slower process. This is the fastest way to get unfollowed when you bait and switch with a sale. Here's another one, putting too much content. This person connected with me. They were then trying to engage with me on project management, and they were trying to sell themselves, and they basically put their corporate resume into an instant message. It completely backfired. It's just not going to come off well. Number 8 is copy and paste mistakes. So we have a lot of good content out there that might reside in a blog. It might reside in one of your carrier planning concepts that you want to put into an email campaign. Or you might be doing an event. The problem is if we start doing personal inviting and then cutting and pasting, it might look fine on your screen, but on the end user, it comes off formatted incorrectly. For instance, I got this invite. I could tell it was personalized, but personalized to multiple people. This was all copy and pasted, but not my name came off in a different font. I know right away that there was an issue with that, and it's just not a good look. So you're better off trying to organically type something in for a campaign rather than cutting and pasting. Same thing with blogs. They might show up as a different color, the things that you pasted. The font that you use when you copy and paste may not be recognized by the end user's device. So take the extra time to type it in correctly into your platform so that it comes off well. And number 9 is salutations. So as an example, you want to look like you're organically trying to build a relationship with someone, organically curating personal content for the end reader. One way to backfire is sign your emails with something like warmest regards, kind regards, or we are here for you. If you start doing sincerely, that's dated. Best is not going to get you anywhere. Best is ubiquitous. What exactly does that mean? And certainly don't have any salutation and just sign your name. You're better off warm regards, all the best, kind regards, or even better, we are here for you. And what are ways to keep the conversation going digitally? Well, if someone is engaged with you via social media, if someone has subscribed to your online blog, if someone has subscribed for your content, or clicked on something on your website to take the next step, how can we keep the conversation going without just bombarding them with pushed content? Well, one thing we can do if it's a top prospect is Google alerts on that advisor or the advisor's firm. If you happen to be direct to consumer, then direct to that client or that client's firm. What happens with a Google alert is that if they show up on the web, either they had a significant corporate move, maybe they joined a board, maybe they were featured in this particular publication, you'll be one of the first people to get notified of that prospect's accomplishment, and you can automatically through digital means or through the phone call them up and congratulate them. So Google Alerts will help you stay addressed on what's happening in their world if they show up on Google. Again, following the person on social media who engaged with you and liking or commenting about their posts, sharing their posts, or even better, if it's something that you feel fits your model, is a way to foster that relationship. And if you're going to be doing email campaigns, don't just do the checking in email. Checking in just is not bringing any value. You always want to bring something of value, whether that's news on grantor trusts or whether it's outcomes that are happening in the trades that they should be aware of. Try to make it something of outcome that would bring them value versus just checking in, hoping that things are well. Basically, the golden rule with digital marketing to advisors or to clients, it's important to come off as being with them. So focused on what are the key outcomes in their niche markets. What are the key digital platforms that they're following on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, et cetera? What content are they engaging in for your niche markets? And follow along with that content. It's important to be with them. Think like them. You have to do a little research on your niche markets and the advisors or clients that you want to engage. But if you can think like them, then your messages will come off correctly and it creates that curiosity. Supporting them. So whether that be providing actual content that solves problems written in their words for their business, for their team, their clients with outcomes that are meaningful to them, not just about your products, processes, people, platforms, et cetera. And finally, serving them. And if you can do these things, then your digital marketing has a better chance of being successful because of the messaging. If the messaging is right, then we focus on analytics and SEO, making sure that we're using the right keywords, the right meta tags. Something as simple as if you're going to redo your website, rather than doing one big redo and launching, start making changes every week to pages. And that way you get picked up on algorithms because it shows that you're active and it actually boosts your search engine results. Hopefully this has been beneficial for you. It's been a pleasure spending this time. Again, we wanted to make sure that with digital marketing that you recognize what are some of the mistakes, and more importantly, that we allow you to optimize your results. So thank you again, NAILBA, for allowing me to spend this time with you. I hope you have wonderful holidays. And if there's anything we can do for you, we are here for you. Have a wonderful conference and a great 2022.